Dream Wars and Age Reversal by Shema'yah Bey, Rebirth, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Taka, Blurry, and Lulu were familiar with the fictional story called Alternative 3, but having direct contact with the real breakaway civilization never crossed their mind. What does that mean? Remember when Nina said her husband and daughter will bring her back to life? She didn't lie. As unbelievable as it may sound, Nina and Mr. Silversuit told the truth. Paradise raised Nina from the dead a few hours ago. She used the triple light invocation prior to placing those 9 resurrection stones on Nina the clone. When Paradise placed the 7th stone onto Nina the clone's third eye, Paradise heard a puff, and memory allowed Paradise to hear Madame Montoyer's raspy voice. As simple in English means spiritual work is simple. The welcomed intruder stopped talking when Paradise started chanting the ancient Egyptian resurrection incantation. Side note, around 1977, British television aired a program called Alternative 3. The fictionalized story aired one time in the United Kingdom. The broadcast focused its attention on the English brain drain. That meant extremely smart people disappeared without a trace. The intellectually challenged weren't exempted either. The third alternative, or Alternative 3, was to populate Mars and use the moon as their transfer station. When Nina opened her eyes, she scanned the room and reached for her gris-gris. After she coughed, she grimaced, and in French she sweetly said, "Thank you for calling me back. Now, will you please hand me some clothes? Father needs our help. Where is he? His telomeres were shortened, so he looks really old. No worries. I'll teach you a murta chamasa, and together we'll make Father young again. And Paradise." "Yes, Mother? Where did this body come from? You don't like it. Is that why you grimaced? The body is fine. The craftsmanship is excellent. So what's wrong?" "That's the problem. I don't understand. We can't stay here. You're scaring me. Give me your hand and I'll explain everything." "Where did Nina's new body come from?" "The day before yesterday, Alonzo had his clone-aid buddies fly Nina's clone to the public spaceport in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Nina's inanimate clone was carefully placed inside of a hermetically sealed metal container. Lyra Hernandez, who was a recent hire, agreed to escort Nina the clone's body to the Oklahoma spaceport. The unit called F621 helped Lyra get her clone-aid job. That specific unit is affiliated with the Puerto Rican Alien Resistance Organization. They're responsible for hunting aliens who hunt humans. Well, anyway, prior to Lyra signing Nina's transfer papers, Lyra placed her copper-toned hand onto the hermetically sealed container and whispered, "Nina, I know you can hear me, so don't take what I'm about to say the wrong way. If you return to New Orleans, they're going to kill you. I'm telling you this because you were very kind to me and my sister. And there's one more thing you should know. Your cells, along with the DNA of thousands of other black females, are being used as a commodity. DNA is being bought and sold on the futures market with other demographically based DNA cryptocurrencies and blockchains." When Paradise grabbed Nina's hand, Paradise telepathically heard what you just read, and Paradise justifiably mouthed, "What does that mean?" "The powers that be have created a technology to perfect their capitalist schemes. In other words, banksters have discovered an easier way to track their assets, digitized slaves, by using race-specific money called DNA cryptocurrency. Oh yeah, the Oklahoma spaceport is the only spaceport in the thou nation, USA, with an FAA-approved spaceflight corridor not in restricted airspace or military operation areas, MOAs. There are 10 U.S. spaceports in the United States of America. From the Oklahoma spaceport, Nina's clone entered interstellar space under heavy guard. For the record, that specific region of space is being protected by U.S. Naval Space Command. It's also worth noting the Pentagon publicly denied the U.S. Space Corps existence when Nina, the clone, Alonzo, Paradise, Lulu, Whisper, Blurry, and Taka passed through the Oklahoma air and spaceport. Alonzo didn't foresee Paradise traveling with an entourage, so he called his Canadian Connect 30 minutes outside of Miami. He told the woman to tell the nameless one from the United Arab Emirates they'll be traveling with 4 stowaways. Paradise's tool, that's her talisman, told her to tell her +4 to hold hands in Oklahoma City. When they stepped onto the tarmac, Paradise grabbed Lulu's hand, he smiled, and Paradise's tool went to work. Her tool shielded her from reading Lulu, Whisper, Blurry, and Taka's mind. Her tool also made it possible for her handholders to board their lunar-bound flight unnoticed. To help reduce any confusion, remember when Taka was released from the MDC in Guaynabo, Puerto Rico? Well, without any hesitation or mental reservation, Taka and Blurry climbed onto the bed of Lulu's commandeered pickup truck. Whisper climbed into the cabin, blew a spit bubble, and planted herself between Paradise and Lulu. Lulu drove the speed limit to San Juan, which is 30 minutes away from Guaynabo. From San Juan, they spent 2.5 hours flying over the Atlantic Ocean. After they landed in Miami, FL, the pilot refueled their Oklahoma-bound jet. When the flight controller signaled go, the pilot raced down the tarmac and they voluntarily buckled up. Alonzo's heavenly transport jet met the spirit of night air in a matter of seconds. Their nonstop flight to Oklahoma City was 5.5 hours. When the jet's wheels raised from the runway, Whisper squeezed Paradise's hand. Paradise's tool allowed Whisper to read Paradise's mind. Miss Paradise, what's Sector 7? What's Alternative 3? Are we really going to the moon, Miss Paradise? My Tio Hector said the Earth is flat, God doesn't exist, and NASA perpetrated a fraud. Huh? Tio said they faked the moon landing. Cállate, Whisper. Lo siento, Papi. The Earth isn't flat, baby girl, it's a sphere. How's that possible, Uncle Blurry, when Tio said, your Uncle Hector's a bum? Yo, Blur. Come on, Lou. You know I'm telling the truth. Nevertheless, Pumpkin, the man who's flying this jet had to learn how to calculate speed and distance by the curvature of the Earth. Now think, Pumpkin. During a lunar eclipse, what shape is the shadow when the Earth travels between the sun and the moon? What you talking about, Willis? It's round, Poppy, and Miss Taka. What's on your mind, baby girl? My Poppy's name isn't Willis. Yes, I know your Poppy's name isn't Willis, but can you ask your Poppy to answer the following questions? Are you listening, Poppy? I'm listening, Pumpkin. What's your question? Why do we only see one side of the moon? Is it true our first moon broke? Who towed our second moon into orbit? Is there any truth to our moon being an alien outpost? How's interstellar travel possible? What about the radiation belt or the KT boundary? I thought mankind was quarantined on Earth, and I have another question. So what's your question, Miss Taka? With all that I said, how in the heck are we going to the moon? Don't look at me, squinted Lulu. Don't look at me, Taka. This is Father's adventure. No disrespect, Mr. Alonzo. I give thanks for your plane rides. But how in the HE double hockey sticks are we going to the moon? For whatever reason, Alonzo answered Taka's question by speaking Louisiana Creole. Whisper, along with Taka, Blurry and Lulu looked to Paradise for the translation. Quite as kept, Paradise explained civilian space travel in a way that actually made sense. If we're keeping it a buck, Taka wrestled with the idea of torsion fields, coexisting timelines, and interferometer propulsion. So in Louisiana Creole, Alonzo told Paradise to tell her friends, overlapping electromagnetic waves will suck our spaceship to the surface of the moon. Alonzo's translator continued to say, science has reached a point where space medicine uses harmonics and geometric shapes to make radiation inert. Father also wants you to know, the man who's sponsoring our trip belongs to a secret organization. His organization has access to thousands of years of unbroken knowledge. What about the Edomites? Oh, I'm not telling them that. Tell us, Paradise. He wants you to know the Edomites ascended like eagles and set their homes among the stars. Obadiah chapter 1, verse 4. You just happen to know that? You act surprised, Paradise. Mom Jackson taught Blurry and I a lot of weird Bible verses. Like what, Poppy? Mom's told me and Lou, if we were ever snatched, she said outcasted, but go on. If we were outcasted to the extreme regions of heaven, the Lord God will find us and bring us back to earth. Deuteronomy, chapter 30 and verse 4. Paradise, can you ask your father, is there any truth to Nazis living on the moon? He speaks English. An advanced group of Notkeys discovered a way to travel to the stars by folding space and time. They've been doing it since the 40s. How do you know that, Whisper? It's like this, Uncle Blurry. I was ear hustling. Ear hustling? I heard Big Poppy tell my abuela Lola the Notkeys made their home on the moon. They're called Nazis, Pumpkin. Thanks, Poppy. And stop ear hustling. Okay, Poppy.